Mahabharata, Book 2, Swayamvara, The Bride's Choice. 1. Journey to Panchala. Now the righteous sons of Pandu, wandering far from day to day, unto South Panchala's country, glad and joyful held their way. For when travelling with their mother, so it chanced by will of fate, they were met by pious Brahmins, bound for South Panchala's state. And the pure and holy Brahmins hailed the youth of noble fame, asked them whither they would journey, from what distant land they came. From the land of Ekachakra, good Yudhisthira answered so, with our ancient mother travelling, into distant lands we go. Heard ye not, the Brahmins questioned, in Panchala's fair domain, Drupad, good and gracious monarch, doth a mighty feast ordain. To that festive land we journey, Drupad's bounteous gifts to share, and to see the Svatyankara of Panchala's princess fair. Human mother never bore her, human bosom never fed. From the altar sprang the maiden, who some noble prince will wed. Soft her eyes, like lotus petal, sweet her tender jasmine form, and a maiden stainless honor doth her gentle soul inform. And her brother, mailed and armed, with his bow and arrows dire, radiant as the blazing altar, sprang from sacrificial fire. Fair, the sister's slender-waisted, dowered with beauty rich and rare, and like fragrance of blue lotus, perfumes all the sweetened air. She will choose from noble suitors gathered from the west and east. Bright and fair shall be the wedding, rich and bounteous be the feast. Kings will come from distant regions, sacrificing wealth and gold. Stainless monarchs versed in sastra, pious-hearted, mighty-souled. Handsome youths and noble princes from each near and distant land. Car-born chieftains, bold and skillful, brave of heart and stout of hand. And to win the peerless princes, they will scatter presents rare, food and milch kine, wealth and jewels, gold and gifts and garments fair. Noble gifts we take as Brahmins, bless the rite with gladsome heart, share the feast so rich and bounteous, then with joyful minds depart. Actors, mimes, and tuneful minstrels fair Panchala's court will throng, famed reciters of Puranas, dancers skilled and wrestlers strong. Come with us, the wedding witness, share the banquet rich and rare. Pleased with gifts and noble presents, to your distant home repair. Dowered ye are with princely beauty, like the radiant gods above. Even on you, the partial princess, may surrender heart and love. And this youth so tan and stalwart, mighty armed, strong and bold, he may win in feats of valor, rich renown and wealth untold. Be it so, Yudhisthira answered, to Panchala we repair. View the wedding of the princess, and the royal bounty share. And the righteous sons of Pandu with the Brahmins took their way, where in South Panchala's kingdom mighty Drupad held his sway. Now it fell, the saintly Rishi, deathless bard of deathless lay, herald of the holy Vedas, Vyasa stood before their way. And the princes bowed unto him and received his blessings kind, by his mandate to Panchala went with pleased and joyful mind. Jungle woods and silver waters round their sylvan pathway lay, halting at each wayside station marched the princes day by day. Stainless and intent on sastra, fair in speech and pure in heart, traveling slow they reached Panchala, saw its spacious town and mart, saw the fort, bazaar, and city, saw the spire and shining dome, in a potter's distant cottage, made their humble unknown home, and disguised as pious Brahmins, sons of Pandu begged their food. People knew not Kuru's princes in that dwelling poor and rude. Chapter 2. The Wedding Assembly. To the helmed son of Pandu, Arjun, pride of Kuru's race, Drupad longed to give his daughter, peerless in her maiden grace. And of massive wood unbending, Drupad made a stubborn bow, saving Arjun, prince or chieftain, might not bend the weapon low. And he made a whirling discus, hung it neath the open sky, and beyond the whirling discus placed a target far and high. Whose strings this bow, said Drupad, hits the target in his pride, through the high encircling discus wins Panchala's princely bride. And they spake the monarch's mandate in the kingdoms near and far, and from every town and country princes came and chiefs of war. Came the pure and saintly rishis for to bless the holy rite. Came the Kuras with brave Karna in their pride and matchless might. Brahmins came from distant regions, with their sacred learning blessed. Drupad with a royal welcome greeted every honored guest. Now the festal day approacheth, gathering men with ocean's voice, filled the wide encircling stages to behold the maiden's choice. Royal guests and princely suitors came in pomp of wealth and pride. Karbom chiefs and mailed warriors came to win the beauteous bride. Northeast of the festive city they enclosed a level ground, towering dome and stately palace cunning builders built around, and by moat and wall surrounded, pierced by gate and arched door, by a canopy of splendor was the red field cover door. Now the festal day approacheth, sacred censers fragrance lent, sprinkled chandan spread its coolness, wreaths were hung of sweetest scent. All around were swan-white mansions, lofty domes and turrets high, like the peaks of white Kailasa, cleaving through the azure sky. Sparkling gems the chambers lighted, golden nets the windows laced. Spacious stairs so wide and lofty were with beauteous carpets graced. Rich festoons and graceful garlands gently waved like streamers gay, and the swan-like silver mansions glinted in the light of day. Now the festal day approacheth, high the royal chambers lay, with their lofty gilded turrets like the peaks of Himalaya. In these halls in pride and splendor dwelt each rich and royal guest, fired by mutual emulation and in costly jewels dressed. Decked and perfumed sat these rulers, mighty armed, rich in fame, lion monarchs noble destined, chiefs of pure and spotless name. Pious to the mighty Brahma and their subjects hope and stay, loved for all for noble actions, kind and virtuous in their sway. Now the festal day approacheth, like the heaving of the main, surge the ranks of gathered nations o'er the wide and spacious plain. Pandu's sons in guise of Brahmins mix with Brahmins versed in lore, mark proud Drupad's wealth and splendor, gazing, wondering evermore. Dancers charm the gathered people, singers sing and actors play. 15 days of festive splendor greet the concourse rich and gay. 3. The bride. Sound the drum and voice the sankha, brightly dawns the bridal day. Fresh from morning's pure ablutions comes the bride in garments gay, and her golden bridal garland carrying on her graceful arm, softly sweetly steps Draupadi, queen of every winning charm. Then a Brahmin versed in mantra, ancient priest of lunar race, lights the fire with pious offerings, seek its blessings and its grace. Whispered words of benediction saints and holy men repeat. Conch and trumpets, voice is silent, hush the lofty war drums beat. And there reigns a solemn silence, and in stately pomp and pride, Drupad's son leads forth his sister, fair Panchala's beauteous bride. In his loud and lofty accents, like the distant thunder's sound, Drupad's son his father's wishes thus proclaims to all around. Mark this bow, assembled monarchs, and the target hung on high. Through yon whirling pierced discus let 5 glistening arrows fly. Whoso born of noble lineage hits the far suspended aim, let him stand and as his guardian Drupad's beauteous maiden claim. Then he turns and to Drupadi tells each prince and suitor's name, tells his race and lofty lineage, and his warlike deeds of fame. 4. The suitors. Brave Duryodhan and his brothers, princes of the Kuru land, Karna proud and peerless archer, sister, seek thy noble hand. And Gandharva's warlike princes, Bhoja's monarch true and bold, and the son of mighty Drona, all bedecked in gems and gold. King and prince from Matsya kingdom grace this noble wedding feast, monarchs from more distant regions, north and south and west and east. Tamra, Lipta, and Kalinga on the eastern ocean wave, Patan's port whose hardly children western ocean's dangers brave. From the distant land of Madra, car-born monarch Salya came, and from Dwarka's sea-girt regions, Valadeva known to fame. Valadeva and his brother Krishna sprung from Yadu's race, of the Vrishni clan descended, soul of truth and righteous grace. This is mighty Jayadratha, come from Sindhu's sounding shore, famed for warlike feats of valor, famed alike for sacred lore. This is fair Kosala's monarch, whose bright deeds our heralds sing. From the sturdy soil of Chedi, this is Chedi's peerless king. This is mighty Jarasandha, come from far Magadha's land. These are other princely suitors, sister, eager for thy hand. All the wide earth's warlike rulers seek to shoot the distant aim. Princess, whoso hits the target, choose as thine that prince of fame. Decked with jewels, young and valiant, all aflame with soft desire, conscious of their worth and valor, all the suitors rose in ire. Nobly born of lofty presence, full of young unyielding pride, like the tuskers wild and lordly on Himalaya's wooded side. Each of his rival marks as foeman, as in field of deadly strife, each regards the fair Draupadi as his own, his queenly wife. On the gorgeous field they gather, by a maddening passion fired, and they strive as strove the bright gods, when by Uma's love inspired. And the gods in cloud-borne chariots came to view the scene so fair, bright Adityas in their splendor, Maruts in the moving air, winged Suparnas, scaly Yagas, saints celestial, pure and high, for their music famed Gandharvas, fair Apsaras of the sky. Valadeva armed with plowshare, Krishna chief of righteous fame, with the other Yadu chieftains to that wondrous bridal came. Krishna marked the sons of Panda, eager for the maiden queen, like wild tuskers for a lotus, like the fire that lurks unseen. And he knew the warlike brothers in their holy Brahmin guise, pointed them to Valadeva, gazing with a glad surprise. But the other chiefs and monarchs, with their eyes upon the bride, marked nor knew the sons of Panda, sitting speechless by their side. And the long-armed sons of Panda, smitten by Kandarpa's dart, looked on her with longing languor and with love impassioned heart. Bright immortals, gaily crowding, viewed the scene surpassing fair, heavenly blossoms soft descending, with the perfume-filled air. Bright celestial cars in concourse sailed upon the cloudless sky. Drum and flute and harp and tabor sounded deep and sounded high. Chapter 5, Trial of Skill. Uprose one by one the suitors, marking still the distant aim. Almighty monarchs, gallant princes, chiefs of proud and warlike fame, decked in golden crown and necklace, and inflamed by pride and love, stoutly strove the eager suitors, viewing well the target above. Strove to string the weapon vainly, tough, unbending was the bow, slightly bent, rebounding quickly, laid the gallant princes low. Strove the handsome suitors vainly, decked in gem and burnished gold, reft of diadem and necklace, fell each chief and warrior bold. Reft of golden crown and garland, shamed and humbled in their pride, groaned the suitors in their anguish, sought no more Panchala's bride. Uprose Karna, peerless archer, proudest of the archers he, and he went and strung the weapon, fixed the arrows gallantly. Stood like Surya in his splendor, and like Agni in his flame. Pandu's sons in terror whispered, Karna sure must hit the aim. But in proud and queenly accents, Drupad's queenly daughter said, Monarch's daughter born Aksatra, Suta's son, I will not wed. Karna heard with crimson forehead, left the emprise almost done, left the bow already circled, silent gazed upon the sun. Uprose Chedi's haughty monarch, mightiest of the monarchs he. Other kings had failed inglorious, Sisupala stood forth free. Firm in heart and fixed in purpose, bent the tough, unbending bow. Vainly for the bow rebounding laid the haughty monarch low. Uprose sturdy Jarasandha, far Magadha's mighty chief, held the bow and stood undaunted, tall and stately as a cliff. But once more the bow rebounded, fell the monarch in his shame, left in haste Panchala's mansions for the region whence he came. Uprose Salya, king of Madra, with his wondrous skill and might, faltering on his knees, descending, fell in sad and glorious plight. Thus each monarch fell and faltered, merry whispers went around, and the sun of stifled laughter circled round the festive ground. Chapter 6, The Disguised Arjun. Hushed the merry sound of laughter, hushed each suitor in his shame. Arjun, godlike son of Pritha, from the ranks of Brahmins came, guised as priest, serene and holy, fair as Indra's rainbow bright. All the Brahmins shook their deerskins, cheered him in their heart's delight. Some there were with sad misgivings heard the sound of joyous cheer, and their minds were strangely anxious, whispered murmurs spake their fear. Wondrous bow which Sisupala, mighty Salya, could not strain, Jarasandha, famed for prowess, strove to bend the string in vain. Can a Brahmin weak by nature and in warlike arms untrained wield the bow with crowned monarchs, long-armed chieftains have not strained? Sure the Brahmin boy in folly dares a foolish, thoughtless deed, and amidst this throng of monarchs, shame will be our only meed. Youth in youthful pride or madness will a foolish emprise dare. Sager men should stop his rashness, and the Brahmin's honors spare. Shame he will not bring unto us, other Brahmins made reply. Rather in this throng of monarchs, rich renown and honor high, like a tusker strong and stately, like Himalaya's towering crest, stands unmoved the youthful Brahmin, ample shoulder, deep in chest. Lion-like his gait is agile, and determined is his air. Trust me, he can do an emprise who hath lofty will to dare. He will do the feat of valor, will not bring disgrace and stain, nor is task in all this wide earth, which a Brahmin tries in vain. Holy men subsist on wild fruits, in the strength of penance strong, spare in form and spirit mightier than the mightiest warlike throng. Ask not if 'tis right or foolish when a Brahmin tries his fate, if it leads to woe or glory, fatal fall or fortune great. Son of Rishi Jamadagni, baffled kings and chieftains high, and Agastya, stainless Rishi, drained the boundless ocean dry. Let this young and daring Brahmin undertake the warlike deed. Let him try and by his prowess win the victor's noble meed. While the Brahmin's deep revolving hopes and timid fears expressed, by the bow the youthful Arjun stood unmoved like mountain crest. Silent round the wondrous weapon, thrice the mighty warrior went. To the god of gods, Isana, in a silent prayer he bent. Then the bow which gathered warriors vainly tried to bend and strain, and the monarchs of the wide earth sought to string and wield in vain. Godlike Arjun, born of Indra, filled with Vishnu's matchless might, bent the wondrous bow of Drupad, fixed the shining darts aright. Through the disk the shining arrows fly with strange and hissing sound, hit and pierce the distant target, bring it thundering on the ground. Shouts of joy and loud applauses did the mighty feat declare. Heavenly blossoms soft descended, heavenly music thrilled the air. And the Brahmins shook their deerskins, but each irritated chief in a slowly muttered whisper spake his rising rage and grief. Sankha's note and voice of trumpet Arjun's glorious deed prolong. Bards and heralds chant his praises in a proud and deathless song. Drupad in the Brahmin's mantle knew the hero proud and brave. 'Gainst the rage of baffled suitors sought the gallant prince to save. With his twin-born youngest brothers left Yudhisthira peaceful good. Bhima marked the gathering tempest, and by gallant Arjun stood. Like a queen, the beauteous maiden smiled upon the archer brave, flung on him the bridal garland, and the bridal robe she gave. Arjun, by his skill and prowess, won Panchala's princess bride. People's shouts and Brahmins' blessings sounded joyful far and wide. 7. The tumult. Spake the suitors, anger shaken, like a forest tempest born, as Panchala's courteous monarch came to greet a Brahmin born. Shall he like the grass of jungle trample us in haughty pride? To a prating priest and Brahmin wed the proud and peerless bride? To our hopes like nourished saplings shall he now the fruit deny? Monarch proud who insults monarchs, sure a traitor's death shall die. Honor for his rank we know not, have no mercy for his age. Perish foe of crowned monarchs, victim to our righteous rage. Hath he asked us to his palace, favored us with royal grace, feasted us with princely bounty, but to compass our disgrace? In this concourse of great monarchs, glorious like a heavenly band, doth he find no likely suitor for his beauteous daughter's hand? And this rite of Swayamtra, so our sacred laws ordain, is for warlike Kshatriyas only, priests that custom shall not stain. If this maiden on a Brahmin casts her eye, devoid of shame, let her expiate her folly in a pyre of blazing flame. Leave the priestling in his folly, sinning through a Brahmin's greed. For we wage no war with Brahmins, and forgive a foolish deed. Much we owe to holy Brahmins for our realm and wealth and life. Blood of priest or wise preceptor shall not stain our noble strife. In the blood of sinful Drupad we the righteous laws maintain. Such disgrace in future ages monarchs shall not meet again. Spake the suitors, tiger-hearted, iron-handed, bold and strong. Fiercely bent on blood and vengeance, blindly rose the maddened throng. On they came, the angry monarchs, armed for cruel, vengeful strife. Drupad midst the holy Brahmins trembling fled for fear of life. Like wild elephants of jungle rushed the kings upon their foes. Calm and stately stalwart Bhima and the gallant Arjun rose. With a wilder rage the monarchs viewed these brothers cross their path, rushed upon the daring warriors for to slay them in their wrath. Weaponless was noble Bhima, but in strength like lightning's brand, tore a tree with peerless prowess, shook it as a mighty wand. And the foe-compelling warrior held that mace of living wood, strong as death with deadly weapon, facing all his foes he stood. Arjun too, with godlike valor, stood unmoved, his bow in hand. Side by side the dauntless brothers faced the fierce and fiery band. 8. Krishna to the rescue. Krishna knew the sons of Pandu, though in robes of Brahmins dressed. To his elder Valadeva thus his inner thoughts expressed. Mark that youth with bow and arrow and with lion's lordly gait. He is helmet-wearing Arjun, greatest warrior midst the great. Mark his mate with tree uprooted, how he meets the suitor band. Save the tiger-waisted Bhima, none can claim such strength of hand. And the youth with eyes like lotus, he who left the court erewhile, he is pious-souled Yudhisthira, man without a sin or guile. And the others by Yudhisthira, Pandu's twin-born sons are they. With these sons the righteous Pritha escaped where death and danger lay. For the jealous, fierce Duryodhan darkly schemed their death by fire, but the righteous sons of Pandu escaped his unrelenting ire. Krishna rose amidst the monarchs, strove the tumult to appease, and unto the angry suitors spake in words of righteous peace. Monarchs bowed to Krishna's mandate, left Panchala's festive land. Arjun took the beatus princess, gently led her by the hand. And thus ends Book 2 of the Mahabharata.